In this WrestleTalk news, MJF has vanished from the wrestling scene, AEW signed a new coach, and Pete's going to be here reviewing AEW Dynamite, so subscribe and enable notifications to Always On for daily wrestling news videos.
Support WrestleTalk!
Another week, another wrestling mystery in need of solving. This time it's where in the world is Car MJF San Diego? Not all of them work as well as other ones. A new post from Fightful Select says that MJF has effectively vanished from the wrestling scene. Now, following his bombshell pipe bomb post Double or Nothing promo on AEW Dynamite on June the 1st, he disappeared from screens, but also, according to Fightful's reporting, has been essentially unreachable by pretty much everyone. Fightful said that they followed up numerous times about MJF's whereabouts, but not a single AEW talent or staffer has admitted to hearing from him since then. Even the people who have worked with him or are close to him says he has not communicated with them whatsoever. Following the promo, it's been confirmed that MJF remained in Los Angeles to take meetings for non-wrestling related on-screen roles, and there was word that he was spotted in New Jersey last week filming with the cast of Impractical Jokers. Now, none of Fightful's sources said that they have heard Tony Khan speak about MJF since the promo, and they couldn't find anyone who says that they have spoken to MJF since the promo either. Now, some speculation suggests that MJF could be on his way out of AEW and be WWE bound, but it's pretty unheard of for someone to just essentially disappear off the scene like this. I'm gonna hedge my bets, I'm gonna call it one big work, and then I'll look really clever when he just comes back to AEW. And if that doesn't happen, I've just been enjoying the wrestling. I've just been enjoying wrestling, so sue me. Well, I mean, what do you reckon the deal is? Let me know in the comments down below. AEW seemingly losing talent is such a rare story, so let's go back to the one that they're actually known for: hiring people. Because AEW announced several behind-the-scenes moves yesterday, mostly promotions, but also the hiring of former Impact Knockouts champion and three-time Knockouts tag champ, Madison Rayne. Rayne has joined up to coach the AEW women's division and potentially the Ring of Honor one too when that starts up properly. Now, Madison was an active performer for Impact up until last month, so this is technically a step away from in-ring action for her. Though Tony Khan did make clear on Busted Open Radio that they won't necessarily keep her from the squared circle. He said, "I'm not saying she wouldn't wrestle anymore, and obviously we're kinda open to it. We have other people in the office who do wrestle as part of their schedule, so I'm definitely open to it." Let's hop the barricade to WWE very quickly and talk Vince retiring, because according to Lightshed's Brandon Ross, Vince going was a bit of a game changer. Speaking with WrestleNomics' Brandon Thurston and Jesse Collins, Ross said that Vince going has caught the eye of investors as it changes both management and creative, though most analysts and investors don't really care that much about creative. Ross instead thinks that the investors are interested in the big picture and that the number one focus of investors since the allegations against Vince came out has been a potential sale. He believes that the major roadblock to a WWE sale was always the McMahon family not wanting to do it, so with Vince out of the way, the path to that becomes a little bit easier. It is crazy times. Hot tag to Pete.
Thank you for being awesome pledge hammers on Patreon, the $100 Man CD Horver, and Angelic Angelo Mercado. You can get your own shout out and loads of extra bonus content by visiting us at patreon.com/WrestleTalk. Ollie's away today, so it's time for me to review last night's episode of AEW Dynamite in about 5 minutes. We began with Jay Lethal versus Orange Cassidy, building off Cassidy and Best Friends' win on Rampage, which was a fun bout with Lethal working over Cassidy's leg, and in the end, after Cassidy's leg gave out while trying to do an orange punch, Lethal took advantage and managed to hit the lethal injection for the clean win. It's a nice little push for Lethal, who'll be facing Wardlow for the TNT title at Battle of the Belts 3 after Wardlow came out to save Cassidy for a post-match beatdown. He's also still trying to get over Wardlow's world. I think it's supposed to be a bit like the acknowledge me bit, like he says the place name and welcome to Wardlow's world and everyone will say it along with him, right? Then we got my favourite thing on the show by far. The Undisputed Elite were back together in full force, with all 5 of them coming out to the ring. Adam Cole mentioned that he still wasn't medically cleared, but he needed to speak about the upcoming Trios tournament. He said to the Bucks that, as he's not cleared, and nor is Kyle, they had to pick Bobby Fish as their partner, as they'd been considering joining forces with someone else, or they're not allowed to be in the tournament. And then he revealed he misspoke. He meant that they wouldn't be physically able. Red Dragon then beat up the Young Bucks, kicking them out of the Undisputed Elite. And before Adam Cole could put them on the shelf, who should come up for the save but Hangman Adam Page. Hangman came with lead pipe in hand and cleared the Undisputed Era out of the ring, and very slowly turned to face the Young Bucks. He helped Matt Jackson get to his feet, which was accepted by Matt, before turning away from them and walking away. This was a beautiful segment, a great furthering of what's to come, and I don't know if Cole and O'Reilly will be medically cleared in time, but if we can get the Bucks and Hangman versus Undisputed Era in the finals of the Trios tournament, I'm all in. Or all out, I suppose. It's this level of subtle storytelling and subtext that I absolutely love. I love the small moments of body language, the shared looks, the unspoken bonds. That's my brand of storytelling, and this ticked all those boxes. Very much looking forward to seeing where this goes from here. Jon Moxley cut a promo saying he didn't care who won between Wheeler Yuta and Chris Jericho later, as whenever he wrestles, he wants to cut them open and leave their blood and teeth in the ring. Alrighty then, Mox. That's lovely. He also said once Blackpool Combat Club are done, they'll make the Heart Dungeon look like a daycare, which is a very good line. We had Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter versus Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm next, which I think might have been my match of the night. It's a tie between this and the main event, but this was a great bout regardless. A really physical match, both teams going back and forth, some great near falls, including one after a stomp from Baker on Storm that I thought sealed the deal, but Rosa saved it with a senton that came out of nowhere thanks to some great camera work. In the end though, Storm did a series of hip attacks and in a miscommunication did one to Rosa, which allowed Hayter to take advantage with a ripcord clothesline and get the pinfall victory. Hayter will be facing Rosa for the AEW Women's title at Battle of the Belts 3, and I think that'll be a lot of fun. Big fan of everything in this match. Big thumbs up. Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti are getting married, and Eddie Kingston doesn't care. Classic Eddie. After a recap of Powerhouse Hobbs turning on Ricky Starks, Taz announced on commentary that Team Taz is dead and over, which makes a lot of sense. Hook hasn't felt like part of their faction for a long time, it was just the tag team keeping them going, and now the tag team have split. It also saves Taz from having to be involved in the story and pick a side, and now he can just talk about how great everyone is on commentary, which works for me. Hobbs then squashed Ren Jones and has some great new entrance music, which is a remix of his old theme, and a new presentation too. Starks came out after the match and had a quick brawl, but due to the referee getting in the way, Hobbs hit the spinebuster and stood tall. Some nice intensity keeps the feud ticking. Still waiting to hear why exactly Hobbs turned on Ricky, but I'm hopeful we'll get that in the next couple of weeks. Miro and Darby Allin cut respective promos on their respective feuds with the members of the House of Black, including Darby tattooing his hand. Alrighty. Christian Cage versus Matt Hardy came next, which was a fine match, nothing super special here. It was nice to see these two veterans with so much history face off, and Cage eventually won after Matt crashed through a table from a failed elbow drop and he hit a kill switch for the win. Luchasaurus then came out, seemingly to stop Christian Cage hitting a concerto onto Hardy, but before he could reach the ring, Jungle Boy had come up from behind and scared Christian off. I'm not really sure what's happening with Luchasaurus and where he stands, honestly, as he let Jungle Boy pass before, but he's never really stood alongside him yet, so I assume he'll turn on him officially and go full heel with his new presentation, but it does feel like the steps of the story have been a bit muddled. Daniel Garcia called himself the Dragon Slayer for beating Bryan Danielson. Ooh, Dragon Slayer! Sorry, I know, I can't do it. Ollie's not here to do it properly. Sorry. Ethan Page was in the ring and cut a great fiery promo about why he wasn't on TV every week, voicing similar frustrations that CM Punk did in his pipe bomb about why are the fans cheering? They were the ones buying a CM Punk figure and not an Ethan Page one. Stokely Hathaway then came out and gave Page a business card, which Page accepted and walked alongside him. So now we've got Hathaway with the baddies and Jade Cargill, Lee Moriarty, and Ethan Page. An eclectic mix, to say the least, but I'm curious to see how this pans out. Also, Page is a great promo, please give him more mic time. The Acclaimed faced the Ass Boys in a dumpster match, which was a bit of goofy fun. Started off with the Acclaimed beating up the Ass Boys and then doing their rap, which was nice, where Caster said he was going to make the Ass Boys retire like Vince McMahon. The Acclaimed are really good babyfaces, by the way, and while I don't think they should be in the main event scene or anything, I think they're a perfect, really good upper mid-card act, because it's this level of depth of over characters that really helped times like the Attitude Era, where you have a deep roster of wrestlers that people care about from top to bottom, and I think the Acclaimed are perfect for what they're doing right now. I like to see them challenging for the AEW tag titles at some point, but they don't have to win them necessarily. The Acclaimed won this match after a big mic drop off the stage through a table, and then pushing the closed dumpster containing the the ass boys off the stage. The main event was Wheeler Yuta versus Chris Jericho, where if Yuta won, he'd get the title shot against Moxley instead. The stakes definitely added a layer to this match, and the very basic and very effective story of veteran versus up-and-comer is tried and tested, but by God, it works. Regal on commentary was working overtime, making sure to clarify and add the impact of every little move and movement in this match, putting over Jericho and Yuta in equal measure. After some fiery comebacks from Yuta and a pretty fast-paced affair, Jericho cheated with a low blow behind the referee's back and a Lion Tamer for the submission win. I like the touch of winning with the Lion Tamer, as Moxley has been wanting the Heart Dungeon Chris Jericho, the Lion Heart, for their title match. Also, on a side note, I love the interconnectivity of the Blackpool Combat Club right now. It's like a cycle, as you now have Claudio Castagnoli backing up Wheeler Yuta. Yuta obviously has his history with Jon Moxley, Moxley and Danielson as a duo, and Danielson and Claudio's history with Danielson bringing him into AEW. I really like that dynamic, and there's still slight divisions between Claudio and Moxley and Yuta and Danielson on opposite sides of this cycle, and that's stuff that can be explored down the line. And when they do, it'll make Blackpool Combat Club feel like it's evolving without the need to add other people. But they could also add other people, and I'd be cool with that too. Overall, this Dynamite was pretty good. A great angle with Undisputed Elite, some very good to great wrestling, more stories being set up and explored. Not much to complain about with this one. This show gets a high 4 out of 5. And very quickly before I go, I'd just like to address yesterday's second news video regarding Triple H's comments on his appearance on the Impulsive podcast. As a lot of you quite fairly pointed out in the comments, it's difficult to take a few lines of dialogue from a 1 hour plus podcast and make a discussion out of it, to an extent even taking it out of context. Some of you also pointed out the headline using controversy as misleading, and I personally would like to apologize for that. There was some social media chatter I'd seen about it, people not being a fan of the things that he was saying, and I extrapolated that out to be controversy, but I'll do my best to be more cognizant of overzealous headlines in the future. Now check out Laurie's news from yesterday about WWE's success with Triple H in charge.
In this WrestleTalk news, huge successes for WWE, more backstage news and all of the shakeups, and Becky Lynch shoots on Roman Reigns. So subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news videos.